Welcome to Vision TV 2. We are glad you have joined us. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Tonight, we journey into darkness. We explore a place hidden from the sun. It is a story of deep caves where the earth keeps its oldest secrets. These caves are not filled with simple rock and water. They hold a light that is not from our world. They guard doors that may lead to places beyond our imagination. These places have been marked as forbidden, yet they call to the brave, the curious, and the bold. They whisper of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, of worlds waiting to be seen. Our story begins where the known world ends. High in a remote mountain range, a team of dedicated explorers prepared for a descent. The air was thin and sharp with the coming of winter. A specialized aerial drone flew close to the jagged cliffs, scanning for an entrance. Old, forgotten maps told of the fissure the drone sought. The lens moved with a swift, predatory grace, slipping into a narrow fissure in the rock face. Below, the world fell into a profound silence. Only the low, persistent hum of the drone's rotors echoed in the void. And then, the tight passage opened into a vast cathedral-like cavern, a chamber of impossible scale. The walls did not absorb the drone's light. Instead, they seemed to answer it. They shone with their own internal luminescence. It was a living, breathing neon, shifting from a deep oceanic blue to an ethereal green. The light moved with a slow, rhythmic pulse, like a colossal heart beating in the center of the planet. It painted the cavern in strokes of otherworldly beauty. Every surface, every stone, every crystal seemed alive, connected by the silent, luminous rhythm. The explorers knew, even before they took their first step inside, that they had found something extraordinary. This was not just a geological formation. It was a place that defied the rules of our world. The very air felt different, charged with an energy that made the hairs on their arms stand up. The explorers, clad in their high-tech gear, looked like visitors from another time, standing at the edge of a forgotten age. The mission was clear: to document, to understand, and to witness what lay hidden in this secret heart of the mountain. They were prepared for danger, for the unknown, but they were not prepared for the sheer, overwhelming wonder that awaited them in the glowing dark. As the team moved deeper, the source of the strange light became clear. The cavern was a garden of crystalline structures. These were not quartz or diamond. They were something else entirely, growing from the floor and the ceiling in elegant, impossible spirals. They glowed from within, casting a soft, hypnotic light upon the faces of the explorers. This strange, cool light made the humans look small and fragile against the backdrop of ancient alien geometry. The crystals were more than just beautiful minerals. They seemed to possess a form of awareness, watching the intruders with patient, unblinking light. A low, resonant hum filled the air, seeming to come from the crystals themselves. A subtle vibration was felt more in the bones than heard with the ears. It felt less like nature, more like a vast sleeping machine. The sound of distant stars, of cosmic energies held in a crystalline lattice. One of them, a young geologist named Anya, slowly reached out a gloved hand toward the nearest crystal. Her touch was hesitant, a mix of scientific curiosity and reverence. The moment her glove made contact, the crystal reacted. It did not shatter or spark. Instead, its inner light flared intensely. A thin, brilliant line of energy shot out from its base, sliding across the cavern floor like a liquid laser. The line did not fade. It held its form, creating a glowing path into the darkness. It was not an attack. It was not a warning. It was an invitation, a luminous thread leading them further. The team exchanged looks of disbelief and wonder. The cave was not just a place, it was an interactive system. They had no choice but to follow the glowing path, the only clear direction in the sprawling cavern. As they walked, the air grew colder, and an ethereal mist rose from cracks in the floor. The mist had a faint luminescence, swirling around their boots. Within the fog, shapes began to form, not natural rock, but perfect arches and circles, too precise to be accidents. And then they saw a perfect ring of shimmering light standing vertically on the cavern floor. The ring of light flickered like a faulty television screen, its form unstable yet persistent. It hovered just above the ground, a gateway made of pure energy. As the lead explorer, Commander Eva Rostova, cautiously approached, the ring responded to her proximity. Close up, explorer's face. Eyes wide, reflected in the swirling, chaotic portal light. The light swirled faster, colors shifting through the spectrum. With a soft, almost inaudible chime, the center of the ring seemed to tear open, revealing not the cave wall behind it, but a swirling vortex of light and color. It was a portal, a door in the fabric of space itself, held open by the ancient technology of the cave. The sight was terrifying and mesmerizing. A portal is a wound in the darkness, a tear that bleeds light. The light within was not steady. It floated and swam in slow, lazy currents, a river of pure potential. Within that river, strange shapes moved and coalesced. Abstract forms, not animals or plants. Living ideas, raw concepts given temporary form. One of the team, tech specialist Ben Carter, moved beside the portal. He raised a handheld wide-spectrum chronometer to scan the anomaly. The portal sensed the device. The light reacted. A soft tremor shook the cavern floor. Radio-like static filled the air, swelling into a deafening roar. All their electronic equipment went dark. The screens on their gauntlets went black. Their comms died. Their sensor pads went dark. Only the low, ancient hum of the cave's machinery remained, joined by a chorus from the crystals. In that electronic silence, the portal pulsed violently one more time. For a fraction of a second, the chaos resolved into a clear image. A landscape. A landscape from another world. A sky with two suns, one a fiery orange, the other a stark white. Impossibly tall, slender spires rose from purple deserts. Rivers like molten glass snaked toward a distant crystalline city. An explorer gasped, the sound swallowed by static. This was not a mirage. It was a gateway. The clear image of the alien world vanished as quickly as it had appeared, replaced once again by the swirling, incomprehensible light. The team stood frozen, their minds reeling from the implications of what they had just witnessed. They were standing on the precipice of another reality. The static hiss from the portal subsided, and the cavern fell into a tense, vibrating silence. We document, we do not invade. Our protocol is observation only. The youngest member, the geologist Anya, was filled with an almost unbearable curiosity. Her life's work was the study of the unknown. She argued for sending a probe, a simple drone to gather atmospheric data from the other side. We have to know. On the other side of the debate was the oldest member, Dr. Eris Thorne, a xenobotanist. He was a man of caution who had seen how easily ecosystems could be contaminated and destroyed. He saw not a wonder, but a potential plague. The debate was fierce but brief, carried out in urgent, hushed whispers. The portal seemed to listen, its light pulsing in time with their rising heartbeats. The very air grew heavy with indecision. Should they step through this impossible door? Gateway to knowledge, path to destruction. The team was a microcosm of humanity itself, caught between the insatiable drive to explore and the primal fear of what lies beyond the firelight. This single moment in the heart of a glowing mountain on a distant part of the globe held the potential to change the course of human history forever. Their decision would echo far beyond this single cave. Suddenly, the choice was taken from them. A violent quake shook the cavern, not from deep within the earth, but from the portal itself. A ripple of pure energy blasted outward, and rocks, loosened by the vibration, began to fall from the high ceiling. The portal's light stuttered and flickered wildly. One of the massive crystals, hanging like a chandelier, shivered and cracked under the strain. A large fragment broke free, tumbling down through the misty air. It landed in a deep, dark pool of water near the cavern's edge. A pool the explorers had barely noticed until now. The moment the crystal fragment hit the water, the pool erupted. It did not splash. It burst into a column of brilliant white light. The water began to churn, not from heat, but from something waking within it. Strange, shadowy forms moved beneath the surface, things that had been dormant for millennia. Slender appendages, hands made of woven reeds, bony branches, reached up from the illuminated depths. The explorers, startled, pulled back in alarm. Their debate was forgotten, replaced by the immediate instinct for survival. Fall back. To the entrance? Now. They turned and ran, their heavy boots splashing through the shallow streams on the cavern floor, but the exit was far, and the path that had seemed so clear was now obscured. The map on Rostova's newly rebooted wrist tablet glitched, its display fracturing into meaningless pixels. The walls of the cave, which had been static, now seemed to shift and move. The pulses of light from the crystals became erratic, casting confusing, dancing shadows that made the cavern feel like a living, changing maze designed to trap them. The powerful lights on the small machines cut through the thick, glowing fog, their cameras sending back frantic, tense footage. The view on their screens was a rapid montage of narrow tunnels, dead ends, and running explorers. The music of the documentary would swell here, a driving beat of pulsing synths and deep, resonant drums, pushing the scene forward. The viewer's heart would race along with the teams, feeling the claustrophobia and the desperate rush to escape the beautiful, terrifying labyrinth they had discovered. Finally, a drone feed showed a familiar fissure, a narrow tunnel leading upward. It was their way out. The explorers squeezed through the tight passage, one by one, the rocks scraping against their suits. Just before leaving the main cavern, Anya paused. She activated a small chemical light stick and left it on a ledge, a small green glow against the pulsing blue and green of the cave. It was a marker, a breadcrumb to guide them back, but it was also a promise. They would return. They had to. Outside, the calm, cold night sky seemed blessedly normal, a stark contrast to the alien world they had just left behind. The team established a base camp, a safe distance from the cave mouth. For now, they were safe. They huddled around a small, contained fire, the familiar orange flames a comfort against the memory of the cave's cold, alien light. From their vantage point, they could still see the entrance, a dark wound in the mountainside. Crystals deep inside would flare the cave mouth, blinking with a soft blue light, like an eye opening and closing. Commander Rostova held a small sample of a broken crystal in her gloved palm. It pulsed with a faint, residual energy. Their first expedition had been a reconnaissance. The second would be a deep dive. 2 days, planning, repairing gear, preparing for a methodical return. Better environmental suits reinforced for unknown energies. More powerful sensors, shielded electronics. Drones fitted with enhanced lighting. Drones with longer-lasting power cells. Re-entering the cave, they moved with slow, deliberate caution. They spoke only in low, clipped voices, their breaths making soft, misty puffs in the cold, charged air. The first portal was not unique. Mapping labyrinthine passages, they found more. Dozens of portals. Tiny, coin-sized portals in rock cracks. Immense archway portals, towering like gates. The team cataloged size, shape, energy signature, each portal a different hue. Blue portals hummed softly. Red portals threw tiny sparks. Green portals emitted a high, glassy chime. Dr. Thorne devised a test. A long, articulated robotic arm pushed a sterilized probe toward a small green portal. The rod passed through the shimmering curtain without resistance. On the other side, the rod bent, distorted like warped glass. Retracted, the probe tip covered in thick frost. A cold that did not melt, ancient and absolute. Sensors read a temperature far below absolute zero. Each portal a window into a universe with unique physical laws. Every portal held a different world, a different sky. Through one, the explorer saw a sky the color of polished brass. Geometric clouds moved in perfect, straight lines. Another revealed slow-floating islands, vegetation glowing soft, pink light. A third showed a vast, black ocean, waves moving like wide, silken sheets under a starless night. The team recorded everything. High-resolution cameras capturing terabytes of impossible data. Each clip a window into a surreal painting, a dream made manifest. They filled their digital maps with strange new names. The brass sky, the floating isles, the silken sea, a strange feeling crept over the team. They felt watched. The cave was not empty. At first, paranoia, a trick of light and shadow. Then they noticed patterns. Crystals sent tiny, firefly-like motes dancing across the walls. These lights were not random. They followed the explorers, clustering like silent, luminous eyes. In deep shadows, small creatures appeared, thin and quick, bodies of solidified light. They crawled along walls and ceilings with impossible speed, not hostile. They did not flee. They simply observed. Approaching, the creatures moved in unison, forming intricate patterns on the rock face. Patterns complex, repetitive, shifting with the explorers. Not defense, a display. Dr. Kenji Tanaka realized it was a code. Creatures communicating in visual language of light and form. He raised a specialized photometric analysis device. He aimed it at the patterns. The device beeped and whirred, deciphering the signals. The screen displayed pattern complexity consistent with symbolic language structure, non-human origin. The team stared in awe. The cave was alive, a biological supercomputer. It stored memory and light. The crystals were libraries. The portals were doorways. The creatures, scribes, maybe caretakers, they had to try to communicate back. Dr. Tanaka modified a high-intensity laser projector from their equipment. He began to mimic the patterns of the light creatures, projecting simple geometric shapes onto the opposite wall. For a long moment, there was no response. The creatures went still, their glow dimming. Then, as Tanaka projected a slow, pulsing circle, the cave answered. Thanks for watching Vision TV 2. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for new mysteries every week.